The biggest upset of the year just occurred this weekend as the Houston Outlaws took down the previous stage champions, the San Francisco Shock. My name is Malik, and today we are going to be talking about the intense fight that went on between the San Francisco Shock and the Houston Outlaws, which ended up with the Houston Outlaws winning in a 5-map series. While many people thought maybe this might have been an off day for the Shock, or maybe the Houston Outlaws were just really on it, all doubt about the Houston Outlaws' skill was wiped away when they delivered the Boston Uprising a clean 4-0 and set themselves up for the possibility of playoffs. The Outlaws look better than they ever have, and today we're going to break down the Houston Outlaws' stunning win against the San Francisco Shock. We're going to talk about the DPS debacle with the Uprising, and finally we're going to talk about what the rest of Stage 3 could look like for the Houston Outlaws. So map 1 on Nepal was back and forth with both teams fighting really hard to set the precedent for this first match. Now, we got to see the first of the EMP shatter from Muma and Dante, but things got a little bit interesting once the Houston Outlaws got into that second round of Nepal. The San Francisco Shock fought back with everything they had on the second round, but it just was not enough to keep them from losing this map. We got to see some cool plays like this from Sinatra and the rest of the San Francisco Shock squad, but in the end, they dropped map 1. Map 2 on Horizon Lunar Colony was really hard to watch as the Shock absolutely rolled through the Outlaws in a fashion we expected from the get-go. Now, the map was quick and fairly unexciting as we saw some DPS heroes just not being played very well.
Choyabin still full health on that Diva, and yeah, he just run right into that Hanzo. What's he gonna do, right?
There's just not enough tankiness to really hold the point, though.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Rockus going to use that tack visor. Choyabin's gonna flank him with a bubble.
Yeah, and 20 seconds remaining now. Houston Outlaws have maybe one last-ditch effort attacking with Movement dying.
On map 3 of Eichenwall, it was all Shock in the 3-3 mirror matchup, and there were some big flaws in Houston's GOAT's composition. As much as they tried to break through, they just couldn't outdo the Shock. Map 4 had everyone on the edge of their seats as the Outlaws found their rhythm finally. The EMP shatter combos from Muma and Dante were nuts with nearly split-second reaction times. Muma's shatters were huge this map and gave his team the openings they needed to win. The timing between Dante's EMP and Muma's shatter, like you see here, are impeccable.
Solid, making sure he hits the supports. He did get both of them. He got both the supports. Super is down. Hacks on Violet and Moth. That means Violet not able to use that Transcendence to keep his team alive. That was a breakout.
Going into map 5, we got to see Jake bust out the Pharah, accompanied by Linkser on the Doomfist, and as a treat, we got to see the Houston Outlaws pull out a full bag of tricks against the Shock. The unsung hero of this whole matchup was Rockus, especially with his clutch Ana plays. Yes, Dante and Muma absolutely wiped up on these team fights, but the anti-healing grenades, perfect nano boosts, and clutch sleep darts helped enable this lineup. This could be a strong, heavy counter to GOAT. If you can get that timing down to nearly split seconds, you're not going to be able to stop them. I'm excited to see how they run this composition against the Vancouver Titans, a team who is known to have a nearly flawless GOAT's playstyle despite their loss against the San Francisco Shock. And honestly, if they could beat the San Francisco Shock like this, they have a chance. But let's talk about the whole Boston Uprising match, because there are some important things to point out. The Houston Outlaws looked like they genuinely had fun against the Uprising. They went against a team that is known for having decent GOATs play and who has been doing pretty well in the past couple of stages, but they just kind of went all out and had fun. While on map 1, Muma did pull out that Wrecking Ball instead of, the regular Reinhardt, they absolutely dominated on it. Nepal seemed like it was demoralizing for the Uprising and they never really pulled back from it. On Sombra, Dante outplayed RCK and got way more utility from his hacks and his EMPs. Color Hex couldn't compete with Jake dominating the skies as Pharah, and we all know that despite Persia's best attempts, he can't match Rockus' level of Ana play. It seems like they took the Clockwork Vendetta approach and just played things that they are really good at, and it worked for them. And as the matches went on, not much changed as the Uprising failed to get a firm foothold and make big plays. At times, RCK would land a great EMP, but no one was around to capitalize on it. He often missed Raucous and allowed for the trance to be popped, and the rest of the Houston Outlaws were saved. Whether this weekend was a hot streak, a fluke, or a new beginning for the Houston Outlaws, one thing is for certain: Dante and Muma are a pair to be rivaled. The majority of the team fight victories were thanks to the intense coordination and communication between Dante and Muma. Muma more so shined with some insane shatters that would make bumper races eyebrows. The individual hacks that came through by Dante and Muma's ability, especially when he's on Hammond, to quickly coordinate and reprioritize his targets is what led them to victory. These two being able to shut down a target's abilities and just completely zone one person out was amazing, and time again they showed that Sombra's hack is one of the most powerful tools in Overwatch. RCK is even a Sombra who's known to pop off on his own, and we've also seen Michelle pop off from the Soul Dynasty, but they've never quite had the right follow-up from their team to make them an unstoppable force. Going into week 3 of stage 3, the Houston Outlaws are going to be playing the Paris Eternal and the Florida Mayhem. Now, I don't want to talk down about any teams, but I'm pretty sure that if the Houston Outlaws could take down the San Francisco Shock, that they will have no problems 4-0ing Florida Mayhem and Paris Eternal. On week 4, they're going to be playing the Washington Justice and the Toronto Defiant, which should be another 2 easy wins for them, which kind of points to all signs being that we will see the Houston Outlaws in the playoffs. Now, we haven't seen the Outlaws in a playoff yet this season, and more so, we haven't seen them in a playoff since the first stage of the inaugural season. Now granted, some of the members of the team are a little bit different. For the most part, it's the same squad. So, do they have what it takes to carry out this season and possibly go through the playoffs and dominate? I'm not sure yet. Yes, we've seen them play really well, but they did lose to the New York Excelsior in the first week of this stage. Stage 3 is already looking insane. If they can perfect and pull off the Sombra Reinhardt kind of against the Vancouver Titans and do it against the Shock again and take out the New York Excelsior with it, I think that they could have a really strong foothold and they can make a mark in this stage. They have the potential to win. If they have those split-second decisions and perform like they did against the Shock, they have the opportunity to take it all of the way. But you never know. We do have the Atlanta homestand weekend this stage, and there's a lot of cool things going on right now. A lot of teams are shaking it up, so you never know what we can see. If the Houston Outlaws can come back from not winning a single game last stage to beating the top team, then I think that this stage could be one worth watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure to drop a like. And also, I just wanted to let you guys know the Overwatch Replay Viewer is out. And while it is a very cool tool to be able to watch some unique angles, what it means is that we'll also be able to do better analysis videos for you guys. We'll be able to actually break down the stuff as it happens frame by frame. So really excited to use that tool. Stay tuned. We're going to have some great analytics videos coming out, and hopefully we'll see you guys again soon. Later.